My name is Christine Morales. This is my audience of three, Tori, Joe, and Justine. Okay, let's get started. Do you guys have tattoos or plan on getting one in the future? Famous actor Johnny Depp once said, "My body is my journal and my tattoos are my story." My ancestors of the Philippines would agree with Johnny Depp's statement because both men and women were covered in tattoos. All over the world, both men and women from all cultures have a rich history of permanent ink on their bodies. Now tattoos are more popular and becoming even more common. You can even get a tattoo anywhere on your body in any style you want. Tattoo art has a significant role in the cultural fabric of the Philippines. The meaning of this art form for Filipinos symbolizes identity and heritage in the Philippines. Although tattooing as a whole has changed throughout the years and people have various perceptions because of the negative connotations that come from linking this art to criminal association, its true roots and lasting significance has not changed. Tattooing in the Philippines dates back to 1590, where the earliest record of a tattoo is documented in the Spanish manuscript called the Boxer Codex. More than body decoration, tattooing for my early ancestors was a symbol of community and status. Tattooing in the Philippines is translated into batok. Due to many islands, the Philippines has many cultures and dialects, so there are many translations for the word, such as taktak or fatek. For example, an article written on Mathematical Intelligencer by De las Peñas and Salvador Amores, tattooing was a common practice among major warrior groups of the Cordillera, which include the Kalinga, the indigenous people of the Kalinga province. In the same article, it states that batok functions as painful rites of passage, bodily adornments, talismans against malevolent forces, marks of courage, visible markers of religious and political affiliations, and symbols of status or indicators of affluence. Batok continues to be indicative of high social standing of warrior class and indicates wealth and prestige for both men and women. The history of tattoos in Philippines began to change when the Spanish arrived and conquered the nation. Even now, much of Filipino culture and Spanish culture is intertwined. We will go into how Spaniards specifically changed my ancestors' tattooing traditions. With the Spanish colonization of the Philippines, tattoo practices slowly got eradicated. By the 1700s, the art of tattoo was almost non-existent because Spanish military and the influence of church. Their religious influences had such a great presence that many Filipinos still follow Catholicism and Christianity until now. Tattooing was considered an antichrist and viewed as a pagan practice. Filipinos still kept traditions when faced with oppressive colonial rule. They managed to preserve this history by practicing in secret or incorporating symbols of Christianity. Even when trying to assimilate, the Spanish still believed that it was unholy and just tainted the meaning of the religion. Despite the Spanish's influence, tattooing still thrives until this day. Luckily, social media was able to portray a new light on Filipino culture by documenting and creating articles on Apo Wang Od, a 106-year-old Filipino tattoo artist who still practices the traditional way of tattooing. Apo Wang Od was featured all over social media and even became the cover of Vogue magazine. The Vogue Philippines states that Wang Od uses a nearly 1,000-year-old technique, which is a tapping method that uses sharp bamboo stick, natural dye, and charcoal. Vogue Philippines editor-in-chief Bea Valdez told CNN that she represents our ideals of what it is beautiful about our Filipino culture. We believe that the concept of Filipino culture and the concept of beauty needs to evolve and include diverse, inclusive faces and forms. Apo Wang Od is an inspiration for women, the elderly tattoo artists, the Kalinga province, and the Filipinos as a whole. My father was also a revolutionary when it comes to tattooing in Asia. He's a Filipino tattoo artist who taught me that at an early age what tattooing presents and what to having of what the art can be and it can represent. From the traditional way of tattooing to having electric machines, I saw how tattoos have progressed and the many styles of tattoos that can be etched in your body. While there is bad stigma towards tattoos and tattoo artists, my dad has kept a respectable figure from having an artistic view and not conforming to stereotypes. Although tattooing is heavily stigmatized, it has slowly gained respect and embraced by Filipinos and other cultures around the world. Now, many of us look at tattoo art the same way my dad and I do, as a symbol of cultural identity and preserving our cultural heritage. The history of tattoo art in the Philippines is a part of Filipino culture that is here to stay. The strength of the culture shows how resilient we are as people and as a whole country. Tattooing is an age-long Filipino tradition that has faced the race of time, the assimilation to Spanish culture and religion, and even the shame from Filipinos themselves by connecting tattoos to criminal association. As permanent as tattoos are, the lasting significance of the Philippines and our tradition seem much more permanent and likely to stand against the test of time. Okay, I'm done. I cannot.